space belong to us.
You're listening to Gamers Digest, a podcast where your hosts put the controllers down just long enough to talk about gaming news, rumors, and anything else they can think of. Here are your hosts, Spider-1 and Mr. Factastic.
It worked. Here we are. We are Gamers Digest. And you.
Me and you, yeah.
Yeah, this was a big episode. This is episode 43.
Yeah, we're getting up there, man.
I know.
We're getting up there. We're like, we're 9 shows away from a full year.
Yep. Like I said, this is a big episode for us because we're under double digits for a full year of shows. So soon, 9 weeks.
9 weeks. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I looked back, and we've actually been doing this show since around like May 5th.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be like mid-May when we hit that. So.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I was looking at the other day. See, I was out of town for a little bit.
Right.
And me and my younger brother, who's now like one of the biggest Gamers Digest
fan.
Yeah, he's like our biggest fan. We're looking back at some of the old Gamers Digest shows, and I mean,
oh man.
Yeah, I mean,
I like to watch some of the older ones to see how much better we've gotten, and then I watch some of the newer ones and realize we really haven't gotten that much better.
We're still pretty much the same.
We've just refined the production value a little bit to make it look a little better, but our actual presentation is still needs some work.
We need some work.
Yeah. But we are Gamers Digest. We talk about gaming news, rumors. We do reviews, previews, pretty much anything we want to talk about. You'll have to excuse me tonight. I am a little under the weather, so if I hack, sneeze, die, which seems to be happening a lot, the show will go on. Hopefully.
Not if you die, though.
You can carry it on. Just put the cat up here.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you were gone pretty much all weekend, but
yeah.
You got a lot of gaming in.
I did get a lot of gaming in before, during, and not too much after my trip. But I've obviously been playing XCOM-Enemy Unknown.
Right.
I did play Battlefield 3, the in-game DLC. The air superiority on that was really cool.
Yeah.
I really hated using the jets originally in Battlefield, but it's a lot more fun.
They refined it.
It's a lot more
like what they did with the tanks.
Yeah, what they did with the tanks, and I mean when they make objectives with your jets instead of just letting it be an option. I mean, it worked out a lot. Fallout 3,
nice.
Madden 13, Skylanders. I've always been it's one of my little brother's games. I've always been curious about Skylanders, and finally see it in action. I have a little bit more, a little much better understanding of how it works, and
a little more respect for it.
A little bit more, a little more respect. A lot of other kids were over, and I mean they just gravitated towards that. So I mean Skylanders is like huge. I mean we talked about how big it was.
I mean everybody's jumping on it. I mean we'll talk about Disney Infinity a little later, but Pokemon announced that they have their own coming up, so that's going to be pretty cool.
One.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be like Pokemon Skylanders for the Wii U. I didn't put that on the news because that's pretty much the whole story. But yeah, that's pretty cool that you got to try it.
Yeah.
Battlefield, you said that they added a lot more stuff into the air superiority mode, and I was a little curious about it, and I watched some of it. It did look really cool. The only thing that I thought was missing was there wasn't a frog yelling at you the whole time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, air superiority or just air battles in general in Battlefield they're so tough,
Right.
And when they give you objectives to complete, it made it a little bit easier. Like you can have the highest score in your team with no kills.
That's pretty cool.
And I mean, some of the matches that I joined into, they were super long. You need 1,000 points in order to win. And you'd see people that had 20-something kills. That was the most they had.
Right.
And they must have been playing for 2 hours maybe to get those. So I mean, air battles, it's hard to get an air kill. So
see, I like that kind of stuff in first-person shooters. Like in Team Fortress 2, I always played the medic. In Battlefield, I always played the engineer because I always like the support roles. I like shooting stuff too, but I always like going outside the box in a shooter and kind of, I guess, doing different stuff.
Yeah, and that's the main thing that why I gravitate towards Battlefield more so than Call of Duty.
I picked up Call of Duty.
I saw.
Yeah.
I saw.
Mostly to play with my dad. So
Cool.
he has a friend that normally plays with him, and he's MIA.
Mm.
So I said, all right, I'll give it a shot. It's on
Okay.
sale, so you know.
Okay. The Target sale?
Just sale.
Okay.
Found some other stuff online. Cheap Ass Gamer is great. If you guys don't know about it, it's a great website to really see what kind of deals are coming up. I did get to play a little bit of Black Ops 2, not my copy, but another copy. I did a lot of World of Warcraft. They instituted I guess you could really say it's a quest.
Mm-hmm.
Warlocks, one of their primary specs is like a fire spec, and you know fire's yellow and orange and stuff. Well, Warlocks in the game have green fire, but none of the players could ever do it. So they finally instituted a quest to do that, and it is like super ridiculous hard. I've probably died over 100 times trying to kill the boss, and I'm actually going to stream it later, and I'm getting closer. I got him down to 5%, but I just couldn't do it. I was that close. So I did a lot of that. God of War, I did play some of that, and you know, little stuff here and there, but
Cool.
nothing of consequence.
I also played some web-based like browser games, like,
Yeah?
you know, and some tablet games. My brother has a laptop, or not a laptop, an iPad 2, I think. And my youngest brother has he has a Kindle Fire, and he's got a lot of mobile apps on there that play like really good-looking games. So
Need for Speed. And
yeah,
all those.
exactly. I'm like, wow. I was like, you know, driving around. I mean, it was pretty cool. It handled well.
Handled well.
Hmm. So, I'm surprised how far the mobile, like we talked about mobile gaming and stuff on the show, but I've never, you know, I used to play Angry Birds on my phone, but
Nobody takes them seriously. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's what people know. They don't realize that there's a lot of good, like there's a bunch of RPGs.
yeah,
on there.
my brother had my youngest brother or younger brother, he had Grand Theft Auto on his iPad, and he was playing that, you know.
Like
And I was
3 or
yeah,
the
Grand Theft Auto
original?
3. Yeah,
Okay.
Grand Theft Auto 3.
Mhm.
And I was like, I mean, this is, and the way the controls worked out, I mean,
They tailor them now to it. It's actually really cool
Mhm.
the way they do it. It's still not quite there on the phone, but the tablets are good.
yeah, for the tablet.
And that's why I like the gaming tablets and stuff. I'm kind of interested in because they could be like mobile computers
Mhm.
with joysticks and stuff like that. I guess
Yeah,
that's enough,
yeah,
man.
Let's go into
We
news and
were
rumors,
busy.
maybe.
Yeah, we'll do some news. We got a little bit of news.
All right.
We need to get our like jingles back.
Yeah,
I was
we
thinking
do.
about that the other day.
Oh yeah, the jingles. I forgot about those.
I'll record some new ones.
All right. Cool.
Maybe have some violin music in the background.
There you go.
All right. Bungie trademarked a bunch of words. I mean, that's pretty much the best way I can say it.
Yeah, they did.
It was like random words. It was like Glimmer and like Star Hope and
Vex.
Vect. Yeah,
Yeah.
really weird stuff. And most people think it has to do with Destiny.
Mhm. That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking like maybe they want Destiny to last for 10 years. I'm thinking that under this 10-year umbrella, they're thinking of like these 5 different, not necessarily maybe expansions or something to add to their games.
Like add-on packs.
Yeah, add-on packs. So, you know, maybe every 2 years we get these new packs or whatever, and they just want their game planning right now, you know.
And that's kind of how they did it with like DCUO after it went free to play. Is they still had like add-on packs, basically DLC.
Mhm.
So I think you're right. I think that's pretty much the way it's gonna go. It's just really weird, like all the different words that they just random stuff. So Resident Evil 6, your favorite Resident Evil you've never played.
Yeah.
And Left 4 Dead 2, your favorite Left 4 Dead that you have played,
Mhm.
are actually crossing over on the PC.
That was, I thought that was an interesting story. I like the screenshots were really cool.
Yeah.
And what's really funny, we're gonna link to the news story in the in the show notes. Was the interview that came attached with the video? That was like it's just funny the way the guy was dubbed.
Yeah, and then it's gonna come out for Resident Evil 6 in April, and the the Valve timeline release is a little more sketchy in line with Valve's release schedule, and they just said spring. But pretty much what's going on is Left 4 Dead 2 characters are going to end up in Resident Evil 6 Mercenary mode, and Resident Evil Mercenary characters are going to end up in Left 4 Dead's modes. So
yeah,
it's cool. It's cool to see two franchises from different developers that aren't fighters crossing over.
Yeah.
So I was pretty interested. Not enough to actually pick up Resident Evil 6, but Left 4 Dead 2 right now is on sale on Steam for $5.
That's pretty.
With all the add-ons.
That's a pretty good deal.
That is a pretty good deal.
That's a pretty good deal.
Saints Row 4. We knew it was coming. I mean, even with THQ shut down, we knew it was going to show up.
It got bought up. It got bought up by what was it? Volition.
Well, Volition's the one who makes it.
Yeah.
Deep Silver, the ones who make Dead Island. Is it Dead Island? Yeah, Dead Island are the ones that bought it.
Okay.
And basically, the same team that worked on 3 is working on 4. 4 originally started as an expansion pack to 3, and then they just turned it into their whole game. But we have a trailer, so
Let's play that.
Yes. And keep in mind, this is Saints Row, so there may be a little sketchy content. Nothing as bad as what's in the full game, but enough. I should probably warn you.
Enough to be warned.
Yep. So here we go. Obviously a super serious game that we can't make fun of in the least. Other than, you know, the nude scenes, the giant robots, the Matrix powers, the superpowers, the dancing hot dog. Pretty much Saints Row as normal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised they actually said it was going to be the final chapter or whatever.
Well, they just said the next chapter.
Oh, I wasn't reading.
It goes quick, and I actually like that they did that with the trailer, because it makes you kind of pay attention to it a little more. But then you miss the good parts.
It reminded me of the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo trailer.
Yeah, where just constant flashing in your face. But, you know, it's Saints Row, so we'll see it. At the end, it did say it's coming out August 23rd. That is for the world. U.S. is actually
current-gen consoles?
Yes,
current-gen consoles. I remember reading that.
But U.S. is going to get it August 20th. So we got 3 days earlier.
Nice, nice.
Which is typically the way it happens for most worldwide releases, because U.S. stocks games on Tuesdays and everybody else stocks it on Thursdays.
Weird. I didn't know that.
Fridays. Thursdays or Fridays. 3 days.
Speaking of stocking things, the Pikachu.
How long have you been playing video games?
Pikachu. The Pikachu 3DS XL is coming out on March 24th.
There it is.
Yeah, March 24th. March 24th. But you can save it $40 if you get it at Target, because Target's, they're like gunning for you know, getting good deals out there for people to.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. It's all on 3D S's and then 3DS XLs. And you get $40 off, so obviously the normal 3DS is a little lower.
See, they want you to get the 3DS for $40 cheaper, but use that $40 to buy another game.
I guess. It does look pretty cool. I mean, looking at it, it looks like a Pikachu.
Would you buy one?
Not one of those. I'd probably get a 3DS XL if I really wanted one. But no, I'm not that big of a Pokemon fan anymore.
I can see a kid getting that.
I can see pretty much anybody that really wants it getting it. I mean, it's cool looking, but not for me. So, Pikachu.
Speaking of 3DS, though.
Uh-oh.
I'm working on these segues, man.
You're working on them?
Nintendo lost a lawsuit over a 3DS patent.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they lost it to a guy who worked at Sony, which I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his name.
Yeah, it was pretty long.
Yeah. But yeah, he had come up with the technology for 3D without glasses, patented it, and then Nintendo sold it.
Yeah, he filed for the patent in 2003. It was granted in what, like 2008?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was out there. I think he got like 30 million.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
So not only is that guy probably an amazing engineer, now he's rich too. So I expect a hover pack or a jet pack or something from him soon.
Something cool.
Something soon.
So, yeah.
SimCity, we talked a lot about that last week, about all its server problems. EA went out and said, I just read what she wrote in the chat.
Oh,
I'm not going to say it, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, SimCity, they said it couldn't be played offline. Well, a modder has kind of gone and broken it and allowed it to be played offline. So now EA is kind of not addressing the issue, like, oh yeah, all those problems you had probably could have been circumvented, avoided if we would have just, flipped this switch for a while. So
yeah,
a lot of people are pretty pissed at EA.
Now you can't save during this offline mode though.
You can't do anything in different regions the way the game's laid out. You can still save. It's just other stuff didn't work. Like other major parts of the game didn't work. So it yeah. So SimCity, I'm tired of talking about SimCity.
Yeah.
Mega Man. We haven't had any Mega Man news, and we're not going to have any Mega Man news because the one Mega Man game that was in development, Mega Man Online, was shut down.
That's sad.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen from it, it wasn't that great anyway. It was kind of like a retro Mega Man where multiple people can play, and that's not really Mega Man. Just kind of weird.
Like Mega Terraria or something like that?
Kind of. Which Terraria did, they did put out some screenshots of the Xbox and PlayStation version.
Oh, nice.
So, because that comes out, I think, at the end of this month. So, we might have to jump on that.
Yeah, play some more Terraria.
Yeah.
American Mcgee.
There you go.
American Mcgee put out some feelers for an interest in Alice 3. Now, I thought this was pretty cool. I mean, it's cool that, like, people out there are able to get these games done that, I want to say they have like an indie feel.
Right.
Like independent film and stuff. And, yeah, he went on Facebook and, like, Mcgee went out on Facebook and put some feelers out of, like, people were interested in another Alice game. There's already been 2.
Right.
Have you ever played one? I've never played one.
Yeah, I played the first one. I am interested in the second one. The first one was really good. I've heard good stuff about the second one. Like, it was kind of... People weren't like, oh, it's the greatest game ever, but they were like, it's a lot of fun. It's a good game, and if you like the first one, you should check it out. So I may pick up the second one when it goes on, like, Steam sale or something, because that'd probably be the cheapest way to get it. Yeah. I'd be interested in it, because they are good games. I mean, the first one was probably one of my favorite games.
Let's see, Mcgee's going to be going to Game Developers Conference in 2 weeks, so he wanted to get some feelers out now. So he had some more ammo with him when he goes to talk to the developers.
The problem is
EA, I think.
Yeah, the problem with him is he wants to get the rights back from EA. Like, he doesn't want to just make another game. He wants to get the rights to make another game back and then do it on his own. Like Kickstarter.
Yeah, Kickstarter, yeah. He's already funded one game through, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but he has developed the game through Kickstarter. And Kickstarter just, like, it's really picking up. Did you hear about the Veronica Mars movie?
Yep, they got funded in, like, what, 8 hours or something?
Yeah, I remember. I saw one of my Click-Clack guys. We have like this email thing where we go and talk about different email projects, or we email different stories that are going on in the entertainment world.
Right.
And somebody had sent something about the Veronica Mars Kickstarter. And when I first looked at it, it was when it was like a little after it first launched. There's probably about $1,000 in there or something like that. I checked it like 3 or 4 hours later. Well, I was watching the money just grow.
Yeah, it was insane.
I mean, it was like viral, and like I say, within 8 hours, I think they already had like 1.7 million or something like that.
Yeah, it was crazy, and I mean, obviously we're not in a movie podcast, but yeah, that was really insane, the amount of funding that movie got in the short amount of time. Especially since I didn't really think that show was that great.
I heard like I was never a fan. I do like Kristen Bell though.
Well,
but, you know.
yeah, we all do.
But this is cool for video games though, because you know video games can be funded through these. There have been a few, like the Ouya was funded through Kickstarter.
Right.
You know, and Outland is it called Outland?
I think so.
Yeah, Outland 2, I believe, is funded. It's going to be another like Fallout type first-person shooter type game. I know.
Wasteland.
Wasteland 2.
Yeah. That's a big one.
That's a big one.
For us classic PC.
Yeah. So
gamers.
I'm looking forward to that, and I mean, I think Kickstarter is definitely here to stay. So
I'm just worried that it might go too far. Like, and you know, we can do like a whole Kickstarter conversation, but big studios are using Kickstarter now. And
yeah,
that I
is a
don't
little,
really.
Yeah,
like.
I don't like that either. We talked about that before.
Yeah.
At work, where you know, like you have all that money. You have all that
right.
money.
THQ might have, but
yeah.
EA doesn't need to use Kickstarter. This
is true.
They have their own way of making money.
Mm-hmm.
Activision doesn't need to use Kickstarter. They have their own way of making money. And their newest way of making money actually involves Black Ops 2. It is.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good one.
I know. I'm getting.
That was a good one. Wow, that was a good segue.
You kind of ruined it by pointing it out. Anyway, Black Ops 2 on the Xbox is getting microtransactions. So let me get rid of this Pikachu.
That was a good segue.
Oh, no, that's Minecraft. There we go. So Black Ops 2 is getting microtransactions only on the Xbox so far. I'm sure it'll evolve into other stuff. Includes different, more character slots, and of course the personalization weapon packs. My personal favorite is the bacon personalization. Weapon pack.
That's pretty amazing there.
It wasn't bad enough that they charge you $20 for 4 maps. Now they're going to charge you $8 if you want to make your gun look like bacon.
Yeah.
And we're going to jump on that.
And there are going to be people out there who do that.
I mean, you know, bacon aside, some of these other ones do look cool, but I'm not going to pay money for them. I mean, when you're playing a first-person shooter, true, one of the main things you see is the gun, but you're never looking at the gun going, wow, that scope looks amazing.
Yeah, like you can customize the scopes and stuff too.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. Like one thing that I don't want to say I liked about it, but I thought was interesting about Call of Duty was like, say you killed somebody, you can take their weapon.
Right.
You got your chromed out or golden AK-47. You can go around killing people with their gun, and like if you kill somebody with their own gun, it's like kind of like an insult to them.
Right.
So like I mean that's something you can't do in Battlefield, but I mean it's there. I would say like Call of Duty is more of a competitive type first-person shooter, whereas Battlefield's more cooperative.
Yeah.
So
we'll talk about how competitive Call of Duty is when we get into our discussion. Because that does come up in one of our discussions. Disney Infinity, we did talk about that a little bit with the Skylanders. That was pushed back about 2 months, so it's going to be August 18th. So we're going to have about 2 days to play with Infinity before Saints Row 4 comes out.
This is true, yeah. Now, today was the first day I found out about this Infinity. That is pretty cool. I think it's got range to be a lot bigger than the Skylanders.
Disney has that backing of, you know, they have all their properties that kids know. I mean, obviously, all kids love Disney. Adults generally love Disney, unless they're jaded and jerks.
Yeah.
Or something else, or Pikachus. But Disney, because they have all that, and then they have Marvel, and then they have Star Wars, it could be bigger than Skylanders. Because people are going to say, oh, do I want some dragon-looking dude, or do I want Beast from Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, just imagine how I don't want to say powerful. Powerful is not the right word, but how amazing Kingdom Hearts was.
Right.
You know, when we got our hands on that. So just imagine the more, you know, something like Kingdom Hearts where we're actually going out and buying those little toys. I mean, it's going to be a cash cow for Disney.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Big time. It's going to be. I have a feeling it's going to be very successful.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how well that does. We'll see how well the Pokemon does. Obviously, Skylanders is the big contender for that, and most people think they actually pushed it back because that's about the time the next Skylanders expansion is supposed to come out. So they think they want it to go head-to-head just to see how well it does.
Like gauge and like figure out, plan their next step.
Right, because I think the next Skylander expansion comes out like early September. So that would give them just enough time to kind of get that running start before the Skylanders comes out.
Clever girl.
There was an achievement for that.
In Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
It was.
Yes.
I forget what it was. Yeah, it was Clever Girl.
Minecraft. We talk on and off about Minecraft. If you don't own it, it's going to be a little easier to own it because you can get a bacon gun, or you can get a full retail copy on Xbox in the near future. I forgot to put the release date on there. Soon.
Yeah, it'll be soon, but I mean it'll retail for $20.
Right. Same as it is downloaded. This also kind of coincides with their. They have a kind of like a, I guess, parental control thing coming out where on PC, and they're going to launch it at the same time they launch the retail. And basically, what it is parents can pay like $15 a month, and Minecraft moderators will set up the server for them and make sure nothing bad happens, nothing inappropriate gets on the server and stuff. Because obviously the first thing you do in Minecraft after you figure out how to play the game is to build a giant penis. At least that's what most people do. Kind of just dug a hole in the ground.
Yeah, and search for diamonds and stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
Shine bright like a diamond.
This story is really interesting. A former GameStop vice president got sentenced to 51 months in jail for embezzling money. Now, what he did was he set up a dummy corporation. He was a communications vice president or something like that. Right. He set up a dummy corporation that had GameStop send money to it, and then he would send that money to himself. He got over $1.7 million. So that's how much he stole.
That's a little tricky, but I mean, as a vice president of a company, do you really need to embezzle any money?
I don't know. I mean, I just thought it was funny that, I went down, I had my own jokes or comments that I wanted to say about this story, and all I got to do is just scroll down. You got people making the same comments,
right.
Talking about how, they're not shedding a tear for GameStop because, they rip off people because they buy a game. That you can buy a game from them and then trade it back to them for $9 and they sell it for $55.
Right.
So,
$9.
Yeah, exactly like the commercial. So I mean, it's funny because of that, but hey, he got caught.
Yep.
He was stealing money for over 2 years. So
he got 1.5. He
got greedy. He got too greedy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, I'm not going to feel too bad for GameStop because that $1+ million is nothing to them. They do that in trade-ins probably every day.
You're gonna have to trade in a lot of games in order to pay them back. I know that.
Probably.
Yeah.
He probably has them though. So, Halo 4 is getting its last map pack in the Season Pass map. Season Pass. I said that really weird. Halo 4 has a Season Pass, and the last map pack under that Season Pass is coming out.
Say that 5 times fast.
No. It's called the Castle Map Pack. Obviously, it has a castle, among other things. This is the first Halo game I've never bought map packs for.
Wow.
I still play the multiplayer on and off. But it's just not worth the money to me anymore. I guess
because your deal's going to come out later on down the line.
Right.
We're holding out. This is what we do now. This is what happens when you overcharge us for something. We're going to hold out until you give us a deal.
Or, I don't have a whole lot of people to play with, so nobody's telling me to buy the map pack.
Oh, like that.
Peer pressure played a lot into Halo for me.
Yeah, back in the day, I could see that. Yeah, that happened to me, especially in Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
Vegas.
Oh,
yeah, I did that.
Man, I haven't played a good Rainbow Six game in years.
Maybe Patriots should be coming out. Well, I don't want to say soon, but
Eventually. Our last story is kind of cute. It actually happened like last week, but we didn't really report on it. A dad actually retiled the original Donkey Kong for his daughter because his young daughter wanted to play as Pauline, the girl you rescue, rather than Mario. So he stayed up pretty late. He he basically worked all the files, and this is kind of what he came back with. So we can kind of talk over this one.
Cool.
But I actually thought this was pretty cool. I mean, he took the 2010 ROM of Donkey Kong and made his own, took sprites, kind of added to them. And, made it his own game for his daughter.
That's pretty neat, man.
And since I got a little girl coming soon, maybe I'll do something like this one day.
Yeah, for sure.
I did notice one thing, though, is if this is her playing, she is way better at Donkey Kong than I am. Because we played Donkey Kong and Dave and Buster's, and I don't think I ever made it past this level in nothing.
Wow.
Just nothing. So that is pretty cool that you can play the whole game like this. He said no plans to release it or anything. He just kind of wanted to share it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a nice little feel-good story.
Right.
You know,
you don't see stuff like that too often. So you played a lot of Madden over the past week.
Yep.
Madden 13, which is the newest Madden. Madden 25.
25's coming up soon.
Coming up soon.
Voting has started for who should be on the cover. My vote's going towards Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis.
There,
Did you see the latest meme?
No.
It's Ray Lewis yelling, and he's like, if I leave the Ravens, everyone leaves the Ravens.
Yeah, I did see that. I did see that.
So,
it's been a rough couple of days.
Yeah. Weeks. Anyway, every year a new sports game comes out. We talk about football because that's my favorite, so that's what I'm going to talk about. But baseball games, hockey games, tennis games. Actually, hockey video games come out more regularly than hockey seasons do. So
yeah, they do. They do.
But every year they put out a new $60 game, and for all intents and purposes, they generally don't change that much.
No.
They update the roster. They generally remove modes that most people like and put new stuff in that most people don't like. And
then Madden 13 was notorious for that. I remember telling you, when I borrowed Madden 13, I just like playing franchise mode. I like, playing through the Ravens' regular schedule for that season, see if I can get to the Super Bowl. And if I don't that year, do some off-season stuff, recruit other new players and stuff. I mean, it's cool, and you just can keep going until 2020 something.
Right.
And I mean, it's fun. There's something like that in Madden 13, but it's been changed enough that I don't even want to touch it.
Nice.
But I can still jump into an exhibition game, just regular game and play that, and it's fine. It plays the exact same. The only thing different is the roster.
Right.
I can't play as RG3 in Madden 12, but he's in Madden 13. So it's like.
So this kind of brings up my point. What about if sports games did an update pack? $60 is a bit much for a full game. I'm going to price this high, but what if they did an update pack for $30? Half of the price of a new game. All download. So I'm sure that's pretty much what they make on a game anyway, after, sending it out, making the discs, license it, paying the retailers, crap like that. So what if they said, for $30 you can play the same game, updated rosters, maybe we'll add a mode in, we won't take anything out, because it'd just be like a DLC. They just pop in, quarterback challenge 2014, whatever.
I mean, I've been saying this for a long time, and remember Scott Rubin? He did All Games Radio, All Games Network.
Right.
He's always been pushing for that, where he wanted you to be able to just update your rosters and stuff.
Right.
Like give you new challenges. Like Madden has this mode where you can like relive a moment in NFL history. Like
Right, and add those in.
yeah, like they can add like Joe Flacco's last pass to Jacoby Jones to tie the game right before overtime.
Right.
You have 30 seconds left. You have to get a pass. You got to get a touchdown, and they give you those challenges in the game. Like my brother, my younger brother, he loved doing those, and I got to do it this way, stuff like that. I mean, it's not too hard to do.
No,
I don't want to.
That was like my favorite thing in Tiger Woods, and they got rid of that too.
Yeah, Tiger Woods is another game. Like, how much Tiger Woods 13? How much different is it in 14?
Right.
You just put an extra guy on the cover of the box.
Exactly.
That's all it is. And yeah, I mean, somebody needs to step up and just let's change the way we do things now.
Right. I think the big problem right now is EA kind of has that corner hold on pretty much all of the sports games. Now there are some other sports games kind of coming out slowly, and there was others in the past, and they kind of died off, and they're trying to come back. I think somebody like that needs to step up. I think EA is never going to do it because they sell a lot. But I think their fan base, like us, is eventually going to get tired of that, and they're going to say, really, Madden 17, because they'll go back to normal numbering at that point. Or is that really worth it over Madden 16? So, I think DLC in this case could be a good thing. I think add-on packs, stuff like that. And sports games are the most easiest way to do it. But I'd actually like to see more stuff like that for all games, like shooters. They could add like mini campaigns, more missions, stuff like that. Instead of doing Black Ops 3, they could do Black Ops 2.5, and they'd probably charge like $30 or $40 for that.
There's so much. We got so much content with the premium pack with Battlefield.
Right.
I mean, and it's prolonged Battlefield's life significantly.
Right.
I mean, if they did something like that with the sports games, I think.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's actually what I was thinking about. Was Battlefield kind of did it right, because Battlefield games, there's always a big gap in between those, and this time they kind of managed that gap and kept it relevant. Whereas like between 2 and 3, people kind of forgot about Battlefield because it was all Call of Duty. So that's pretty cool. So both kind of for it.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I'm way for it. Yeah, I want a roster pack.
We're gonna boycott Madden 25. No, you're gonna play it. You're gonna play it. I'll
play it. I might maybe then that's when I'll get Madden 13.
Well, Madden 25. You think it could be an esport? It's a real sport.
It is a real sport. I'll just say this right now. I do like esports. I think that it's entertaining to watch. Right. Like just the human element of it, because. I mean, I like to see a guy up on stage, all these people around him, and watch the competition.
Right.
It's not like the real thing. The real thing, it carries its own weight as far as the human element's concerned. But there's just something different about an esport.
Right.
But I always like the Madden challenge stuff. I'm pretty sure they still do it.
Yeah.
Every year. I loved
the pitching challenge they do every year. For the baseball game.
Oh yeah, for the baseball game. Yeah. I saw some StarCraft stuff with you. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I do think it's a big deal. I think it should be a little bit more mainstream. I think that's how serious I think people should take it. I think it should be a little bit more mainstream, because I think there's a lot of entertainment there that could be had. Because I like doing watching Let's Plays and stuff, So I mean, it's fun and entertaining. It's just something else that we could do, and I think it's a little bit more
and we've kind of talked about our own convention eventually, and I'd like to do some kind of esport. The reason I'm bringing it up is because over the past weekend was like the World Championship of esports. And the 3 big games were StarCraft, Black Ops 2, and League of Legends. Of those, StarCraft pulled in the most viewers, which is actually pretty rare. Most people attribute it to Heart of the Swarm coming out last week.
Okay.
Because normally League of Legends kind of stomps it. like we've talked about like past numbers where League of Legends has pulled in millions of people to view it. Over the past weekend, they reported that like 3.5 million people tuned into StarCraft, and like 1.2 turned into League of Legends concurrently. So that means, you know, almost 5 million people were, or over 5 million. That's kind of fuzzy. But we're watching esports at the same time. You know, that's pretty significant. Like, that's more than an average rated TV show. A cable network TV show is lucky if they can get 5 million.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it. Like, it should be. I think it should be taken a little bit more seriously as far as, like, you know, entertainment value. G4 almost had it when they when they first started, when they had this show called Arena.
Right.
Where, I mean, it's basically esports, and they had teams and stuff, and they would all compete and everything. I think if they took that arena formula and, you know, expanded it out to what it is kind of like on the internet, I think you'd have like some really like quality programming. I'm pretty sure companies would love to advertise on there. You know,
right. I mean, think about all the gaming companies and stuff. You know, this is gonna sound really old, but you remember the Wizard? Movie? Yeah. You remember how at the end they debuted Mario 3? That was the first time the U.S. ever got to see Super Mario Brothers 3. They could do stuff like that. I mean, that would be amazing. Like, you wouldn't have to wait for E3. Like, Blizzard never waits for E3 for their big messages. They just do their own thing because they have their own convention. And then they also go to esports, like they go to the World Championship in China, and they usually announce something there. So stuff like that, I think, could really help the game industry.
Yeah.
And I think esports would help the whole industry as a whole, because it would put that added layer of pressure on the developers to not only release a good game, but release a game people enjoy watching. So, I personally, I don't follow any of the leagues real closely, but I do enjoy watching them.
Yeah. I mean, something like if there's nothing on TV, and I knew at least an esport was going on,
right,
I would tune into that just to see what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, like I watched the StarCraft championships, and that stuff was intense. Like the personalities knew what they were talking about, so they, you know, even though I haven't played Heart of the Swarm, I knew what the units could do. I could see what this guy was doing. You know, they were like full commentators, and you know, I honestly think anybody that is interested in games could watch it and understand it. So I personally would like to see esports grow this year, and it's poised to do so. Like this World Championship was a big deal because 5 million people concurrently is amazing. And you know, at the championship, you know, they said like, you know, 300, 400,000 were watching StarCraft, or like 200,000 were watching League of Legends, and Black Ops 2 was the lowest, with like 60,000. There's still quite a bit.
Yeah.
And they didn't release the total people watching Black Ops 2. I imagine a first-person shooter could pull in higher numbers.
Yeah, it could pull in higher numbers if, you know, it was like a game most people liked. There's like a lot more. I mean, we've seen death matches to death. You know,
right.
Like if we had like captured a flag or something like that. I mean, it would be cool. I'm gonna lose power soon, but I don't need it anymore.
I think honestly the first-person shooter is a little hard to cast. Like it's hard to be. Oh, he shot that guy in the head. Oh, yeah. Oh, he called out the dogs. Whereas StarCraft and, you know, League of Legends, there's like the element of strategy behind it.
Yeah, exactly, a strategy.
A higher level. I don't want to say there's no strategy in first-person shooters, but there's less. Like sitting under the stairs and shooting people in the kneecap is a valid strategy.
Yeah, it's I especially Call of Duty is like, you know, it's like really like a Twitch-based. It's like reaction instead of like, you know, thought going into it, where you can actually like digest that information. Oh, maybe I can take that into the game. I mean, some people are just really good at first-person shooters. You know, like there's no real good commentating for that.
Right.
You know.
So. All right. Well, we've talked about esports. We've talked about news. We've talked about all that. So I'm going to do a preview, and then you've got a quick review.
Yeah, I've got a quick review. It's going to be painless. Well, it wasn't painless to play it.
Right. My preview is for the game coming out next week. It's kind of the game everybody's talking about right now. Bioshock Infinite. They released a new trailer, so I'm going to play that. And I'm going to talk a little bit about it, but most stuff's already pretty well known, so we'll play that trailer.
Rated M for mature. Bioshock Infinite, in stores March 26th.
So, looks pretty cool. Obviously not gameplay footage. It's the third Bioshock game. They didn't number it because they kind of did something different. The previous two Bioshocks were underwater. This one's obviously not underwater. It's up in the air.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be a first-person shooter. There's still going to be different powers. And like the other Bioshocks, it does poise to kind of tell us a good story. Like Bioshock's always been known for its narrative as a first-person shooter, and I'm actually looking forward to it. Like I played Bioshock 1.
I might try to rent it.
Yeah.
I might try to rent it.
Yeah, I mean Bioshock for a first-person shooter is actually pretty long. So that would be, you could probably get away with renting it, kind of like Tomb Raider. So, but it comes out next week, so check it out.
Cool, yeah. Bioshock Infinite. That's one of the big games that I know is coming out this year.
All right, so you got a review for us. Let me get this video set up. I got to keep messing with the sound.
Yeah, I got a review. I'm going to be reviewing the Slingshot DLC for XCOM. I mean, I was really disappointed by it. You know, I remember.
Sounds like it.
I took like. Did you notice I lowered the score again?
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. Couldn't go much further down from where I
Like every time I looked at that score today, it got lower and lower.
Yeah, I put my base score on there and it just kept going down. I was like, nah, it doesn't deserve it. Basically, I mean, obviously, in this Slingshot pack or DLC, you get their council missions. They take place in China, and you get a new character, and there's just some hocus pocus story for you to get more. Okay, let me start over.
Yeah.
When in the game, you when you beat it, there were a lot of people that complained that they couldn't get all the research and stuff because they didn't stick around enough in the game to shoot down a very large UFO.
Right.
So basically, what this DLC does for you is very early on in the game, it gives you the opportunity to down a very large UFO, which ultimately ruins the game for you because it makes it way easier to play. You get all these technologies and stuff, all these research options that you weren't supposed to get until much later in the game after you had firestorms and stuff like that. This DLC ruined the balance of the game for me. You know, I'm only like 2 months into the story, and you know I've got like this technology that I shouldn't have.
Right.
You know, and it just, I mean, it ruined my game. You know, I wish I had the option to start it over, or like, you know, just start over and just skip the missions. They do give you an option to skip, but I wasn't sure if it was going to give, you know, first of all, I didn't know it was going to be this bad. And I didn't know if it was going to give me the option again. I think I remember in message boards people had complained. But the character that they give you, I mean, he's kind of a douche.
Right. That's what I saw.
He also, you can't customize him at all. And it's not like when I went into my customization options, like you're going to see all this in my Let's Play for Enemy Unknown, that, you know, I like customizing my guys' uniforms. I just change the colors and whatnot.
Right.
I couldn't even do that.
Nope.
I mean, I can understand if they didn't want you to customize his face, but you cannot customize anything on him. So he'll go into a mission with like different colored outfit. I mean, he doesn't match my motif or how I outfit my soldiers, so I don't even bring him into the missions. There is an achievement to bring him into the final mission of the game, so I'll keep him alive until then and get my achievement and be done with it. But ultimately, I mean, I feel like it spoiled the experience of the game. Like, you should build up to the point where you can shoot down a very large UFO. You should, and your reward should be the research and the weapons you get. Another thing I didn't like about Slingshot was that they gave the missions happened too quickly. Yeah. Before I realized it, like I want to say like within an hour and a half to 2 hours, you've done every single thing in Slingshot. I was surprised when I was finished with Slingshot. I didn't even know.
So it's small.
It's very small. I mean, it was the only saving grace is that Slingshot was only like what 500 Microsoft points, 560.
Like
yeah, it wasn't expensive, and now I'm starting to see why, because it's like 2 or 3 council missions that were kind of like back to back to back. It just seemed rushed. I didn't like it. I'm gonna give it a 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10.
1 out of 10. You don't need it. You don't need it, ladies and gentlemen.
You should probably. The game's better to not get it.
The game is better to not get Slingshot. Now they do have another DLC for XCOM-Enemy Unknown that was free. It actually came as one of the update patches that when you load up the game, and it's called Second Wave. And in that, I think it's only available after you beat the game. I'm not sure, but you can do things like up the weapon range, the weapon damage range. I think I have that turned on because I shoot an alien with a certain gun, and it gets like, if it gives me 1 damage, I'm like, this shouldn't be happening. Like it does give a little bit of more difficulty to the game, and you can change how much money you get from funding countries. It like varies, like a lot of different variables that you can change in the game and make it a much more difficult experience. So
cool. You should get that one.
Yeah, well, I think you get that one no matter what. But I mean, it's worth checking out at least. I mean, to just spice it up. I did play Enemy Unknown on impossible difficulty. I tried. It's very impossible. Well, that first mission is crazy.
All right, well, that should about do it for us tonight. Like I said, I'm probably going to stream in a little bit, probably 15-20 minutes. Nice. Just to kind of catch the wind.
Digest.
Yeah,
digest the Gamers Digest.
Get this all set up and on YouTube and all that stuff. I am happy that XSplit is working good now. Like, we haven't had any crashes and stuff recently.
No crashes, no fast-moving videos, like double-speed videos.
Nope. So we're running pretty good. Check out our YouTube channel. Check out our website. All the stuff that's in the outro. You have Enemy Unknown coming out 3 days a week.
Soon I will be starting them up. I might do it 2 or 3 days a week. I might do Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or something like that.
Okay.
Once I get them, I need to figure out a render schedule for everything. So once I figure that out.
Well, you have the first 3 out.
That's for Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider,
yeah.
Right. Tomb Raider's 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And Enemy Unknown's coming out.
Yeah, soon. Very soon.
Okay. Well, obviously we have a lot of stuff coming out because I can't keep track of it. So could be that I'm sick.
Could be.
Either way, good show.
Good show.
We'll, I guess, see you next week.
Next week?
Monday now.
Mondays.
We've been doing it for Mondays for like, what, months now?
Yeah.
I still say Wednesday. Monday, 7. Streaming throughout the week randomly. That's it.
Yeah.
See you.
See ya.
Gamers Digest is a Spider-One and Mr. Factastic production. All characters and games are owned by their respective companies and are used under the Fair Use Law. Check out Gamers Digest at gamersdigest.me, on YouTube under Gamers Digest Podcast, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at The Gamers Digest. Viewer questions and comments can always be sent to